All right, let's dive into this explainer and see how a really shy teenager completely engineered his way to becoming, honestly, the most legendary entertainer of our generation. I mean, if you've spent any time on the internet at all, you know the name Mr. Beast. But what we're going to look at today, it's not just some story of getting a lucky break. This is a literal masterclass in obsession, psychology, and really cracking the code of human attention. Let's get into it. So take a look at the massive contrast here. On one side, we have Jimmy, a kid who was literally terrified to speak in public. And on the other, the larger-than-life Mr. Beast we all know today. Back in 2012, Jimmy was just so incredibly shy, he couldn't even bring himself to talk to other people. So he just started talking to his camera instead. And, he had absolutely no idea that this one single decision would transform him into the loudest voice on the entire internet. To really understand how he got there, we gotta look at his origins, because his childhood was pretty tough. His parents went through a divorce back in 2007, leaving his single mom to raise him and his brother. He was incredibly introverted, didn't really have friends, and would literally pull his baseball cap way down over his face just to avoid eye contact. But the guy had a super obsessively focused personality. At first, that obsession was baseball. Then he found YouTube as this sort of quiet escape at home. But the real, actual turning point, that happened in 2015. He was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It's a severe condition that basically left him way too weak to play the sport he loved. Losing baseball forced that obsessive personality to pivot entirely. He took all that drive, all that energy, and aimed it directly at YouTube. But as you might guess, his new passion wasn't exactly supported at home. By the time he was 17, he told his mom he wanted to skip college to pursue YouTube full-time, and she hit him with a pretty harsh ultimatum. Go to college if you want to stay in my home, or leave. So faced with that, Jimmy actually faked going to college. No joke, he pretended to attend classes while he was secretly filming videos somewhere else. And we're not talking about glamorous productions here. He was literally filming himself doing totally absurd things, like trying to cut a table in half with plastic knives. But believe it or not, it was these early, highly unusual, super effort-based videos that finally allowed his income to grow just enough for him to move out and live on his own. Okay, Section 1. Cracking the viral code, the turning point. Up to this point, he'd made over 400 videos over 7 years without any real viral success. Nothing. Then came this grueling stunt. One day, Jimmy and his friend Chris were binge-watching the anime Naruto, which, by the way, has like 700 episodes. Jimmy decided he wanted to film a video while he watched, so he sat down, turned on the camera, and just began counting. From 1 to 100,000. It was an exhausting feat that took him 40 straight hours to complete, and when he uploaded it, the video completely exploded. It pulled in 5 million views in its first 5 days. Crazy, right? This perfectly illustrates his big light bulb moment. To succeed on YouTube, he realized he couldn't just do normal things. He had to put in extreme, undeniable effort to do unbelievably interesting things. So he immediately doubled down. He counted to 200,000 things. He turned on a microwave that was placed inside another microwave. He built this massive castle out of plastic cups. This sheer dedication to the absolute absurd pushed his channel from basically zero to that magical milestone of 1 million subscribers by 2017. Moving right along, Section 2, the philanthropy engine, engineering goodwill. Reaching 1 million subscribers was literally just the beginning. Jimmy managed to transform a standard brand deal into an unstoppable financial engine. Check this out. He got his first major offer from an app called Quid for $5 grand. Jimmy countered, asking for $10,000, promising the video would go viral. When they actually agreed, he did something completely unheard of. He walked outside and handed the entire $10,000 to a homeless man. The reaction was caught on camera, and the video just skyrocketed. Why? Well, because he tapped into what psychologists call the warm glow effect. It's that incredibly positive feeling we all get when we watch someone's life change for the better. Viewers were instantly hooked on that feeling. He realized he had cracked a never-ending cycle. His formula was brilliantly simple. Get the sponsor money, give it all away, go viral from that warm glow effect, and then use that massive viewership to secure an even bigger sponsor for the next video. He used this exact loop to give away cash to Twitch streamers, hand a pizza delivery guy 10 grand, and eventually, this is amazing, hand his mom $100,000 to completely pay off her home loan. All right, Section 3. Hacking the human brain. Technical mastery. By 2018, with 3 million subscribers under his belt and cash really starting to flow in, Jimmy didn't just rely on good deeds anymore.
He started injecting some incredibly powerful psychological strategies directly into the technical side of his content. He knew his raw thumbnails weren't cutting it, so he obsessively engineered them using 3 core tactics. First up, no clutter. He used incredibly clean backgrounds to force the viewer's eye right to the main character. Second, the small and big strategy. Look, the human brain inherently knows how big a person is. So when you place a normal-sized human in front of a colossal object, like, say, the world's largest Lego tower, the brain is instantly shocked into clicking. And third, color theory. He would literally paint a white wall black in a thumbnail just so his bright orange shirt would pop off the screen. These little tweaks guaranteed massive click-through rates.
But hey, getting the click is only half the battle, right? If people leave early, the video completely flops. Well, an internal leaked document revealed his absolute genius pacing strategy to keep people watching until the very last second. He looked at the analytics of his 13.5-minute videos and calculated this pretty terrifying metric. 30 to 50% of a typical YouTube audience leaves within the first single minute. Honestly, that's huge. So he built a meticulous counter strategy to fight this drop-off. His minute-by-minute pacing is a total masterclass. From 0 to 10 seconds, he immediately fulfills the title's promise, meaning if the video is about helping 1,000 deaf people hear, someone is getting a hearing aid in those first 10 seconds to satisfy the click. Then, from 1 to 3 minutes, he uses crazy progression. The story just moves at breakneck speed. Right at the 3-minute mark, which is exactly when attention usually dips, he forces a re-engagement. He does something totally unexpected, like, I don't know, dropping a house from a crane, just to jolt bored viewers awake. From 3 to 6 minutes, he builds the emotional connection with the characters, followed by another twist. And finally, he uses an abrupt resolution at the very end to stop people from clicking away before the video officially finishes. It's wildly calculated. Which brings us to Section 4, Surviving the Backlash and Beyond. So, his psychological hacks worked phenomenally, right? Skyrocketing him all the way to 300 million subscribers. He even launched his chocolate brand, Feastables, and started an analytics tool called ViewStats. But in mid-2024, a massive controversy threatened to bring his entire empire crashing down. A former employee named Dawson French released videos making severe allegations. This actually sparked a massive boycott trend on X and cost him millions in canceled brand deals. Now, any other creator might have panicked, but MrBeast, he waited. He let third parties like the channel's Soggy Cereal systematically debunk the CGI claims, proving things like a massive shredder he used were 100% real. And for the fake charity claims, MrBeast eventually went on a 2-hour podcast and used radical transparency. He neutrally explained that Beast Philanthropy is a registered, publicly audited nonprofit, meaning literally anyone can verify the funds. Slowly but surely, the allegations crumbled, and he won back the trust of his audience. Having survived the absolute biggest crisis of his career, the sheer scale of his trajectory is just unbelievable. From 1 million subscribers in 2017 to 300 million in 2024, he took an awkward, lonely hobby and engineered it into a billion-dollar net worth. He even recently landed a $100 million show with Amazon Prime. He is undeniably on his way to becoming the most legendary entertainer of our generation.
Which brings us to our final thought. It is an absolutely incredible journey, from a boy who couldn't speak 2 words in public to the undisputed king of YouTube. He didn't rely on luck. He relied on relentless effort, deeply studying human psychology, and an absolute obsession with improving every single day. So, it kind of leaves us all to wonder, if you applied that exact same level of scientific obsession to what you love, how far could your own passions take you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this sparks some curiosity for you. I'll catch you on the next one.